this nurses demonstration strike thing is very pathetic. Because some of the entities no more render essential services. Nurses, doctors, police officers, military, those kind of way, because services are such that whenever you revoke your services, you put human life at risk. So that's and the money your friend is saying very way. Anti-constitution no ne emra o kroma labor law no outline processes ne na for because obi peeved about the working conditions, salary na for there or nipa, you cannot stop people from expressing dissatisfaction about the conditions of service. And as near my goal, no, there are a whole lot, because I'm telling you, sir, being at the hospital, the risk involved in some of the things that you do. I'm a innocent or a nurse. Yes.
So when you my innocent or a nurse, and see, well, almost is a funeral grant to Bejibio. Oh, and I have a height allowance.
Amazing. So yeah, I think that is very pathetic. Sometimes I know a medical doctor now or perform a procedure on somebody. Yeah. And and I think that there was a gush of blood, a puba, and a good name. Unfortunately, the person was HIV positive.
Jesus
so what
Christ.
It means is
automatically.
I'm saying all this just for people to appreciate the depth of issues now. Yeah. And now I've always been advocating, say, you see, the emolument structure in this country, you know, are very pathetic. But the same person, your first near mana nurses a demand some of the conditions near mana woman, some are absolutely nonsense. Absolutely nonsense. It doesn't make sense. And me, I don't blame nurses, I blame the leadership. Because you see, nursing leadership over the years has been very, very, very pathetic. It's the reason why most of the young guys and girls coming in, will be a film. So nursing your now are diverted, now call a anesthetic, or be caught no acquire way. Everybody's moving away from the space because leadership over the years, I'm for now, I'm more better, they don't even think about the welfare. I remember there was a time they were paying nurses student allowance. Yes, my for nurses, nurses for near. So this is the leadership. They don't fight for their own. So over the years, nursing leadership has been very pathetic. Very, very, very. And nurses know. Even go to the various wards. Your friend is a metro for no more. They don't even care about their own nurses. They always advocating for NEMA. You can go to a hospital and say, okay, what is now more? Yeah. You have more allowance. You bet me my nurse need 100 Ghana cedis. Me my doctor need maybe 2,000 Ghana cedis. Look at the gap. But metro no see anything
wrong with it.
Yes. But nurse we will spend much time at the bedside, do all the dirty jobs. It's the nurse. And there are facilities you go, there is no nurse. But the same facility, I'm not be a child doctor. Nurse is not money.
Yeah, money be need.
I will not blame them. It's the leadership that is there because they don't know all that they are interested in. Yeah. They don't care about the work. So over the years, I never way now do now film. Do now because you see that there is no future because of bad leadership. And there are things it's not even right to say, but I think that's very, very terrible. But yeah, with him said yes, no. I'm worried about the kind of politics in this country because so what is happening within the space now. We cannot be sitting with GMA today. Doctors now more now ya demonstration we are near teachers now ya nurses now ya there is no country that will survive doing that. So for me, I think that we need to look at our emolument structure aggressively. Now you say why they taking risk at the hospital? Who's a make a nurse for the show? But don't forget that police in here are deployed on bank and so it's the same, it's at the same risk. Because at bank in I'm Robert Bar. He's the first person.
I'll better get it.
So you wait me now young guys bullion vine and for a so everybody is at risk. So as government, I think that what we need to do and they say yebekeka saa nneema no nyina bom na ya assess the risk level of all these individuals na you draw a comprehensive package cover some of these in the absence of this then some of these things are likely omu we are mark somewhere doctors will come
teacher for will
come and with the government you know and a trade of nonsense always you are in banter and nipa no so nim say enam say there omu a bargaining advantage because our withdrawal services you be in hot waters until they will continue to do some of these things to you. So I think that one of the things ama way and the emolument structure because there are nurses who are degree. Not for them salary bring take 3,500, 4,500 not for them. What I say and very pathetic. So for me, I think that we need to look at the basic salary structure. Now you making sure say you improve on. Then as for them, about demonstration strike and also. Now you improve on. Now you must say. Baby and the pano ya juma biya obia is okay with your own yan and as a form and I think that say to me yes mana a better key away this bargaining chipper very often some of these entities and hold government to ransom or my juma my essay my draw my services and as a form conditions of service will be here now I will tell you your conditions of service here but you see there's sometimes the way you go about it. And there are roadmap. This particular strike, and I think say to be very honest with you, because you see, this and is how
was striking? We are now Kwejuma.
Oh, maybe can't striking. Yeah, because of the same nursing leadership. Okay. Issue need a very confusing. People don't understand. You be a free baby. Emotions.
Okay.
Sa package na ye kan sa your friends a package na ye kan was a collective way na agreement na omo make here no it's a paper under Akufo Addo government no omo ti ase na ye fe omo agree but components na ewom no people did not pay attention to niema na ewom because at the time now we were going into elections Akufo Addo government at the time no could not afford to be engaging nurses back and forth because once they be ase it was going to affect the government. At the time, okay. So, on the package in the bar say packaging in the they agree on virtually everything.
Okay.
And now, the government then you cannot blame Akufo Addo government in this because they were going to implement it. Then the nurses now, psychiatry nurses took the issue to court to another party. Said no. Agreement no more agree no. And ya dear say GRA no our mother body no because then the bodies be braba no. And no man transit and no one can. And the no agreement no my be omo ntiase nto omo the issue no court. Issue no court and then the psychiatry nurses won. So about back and forth issue no court sem no pull it out to be area no. Na ye January. Na ye January yo Akufo Addo tukofie ama mahama aba ama yaba January budget no at the time no already had been prepared government didn't just sika de bia kwata me na wo de ya de so the reason why I'm blaming nursing leadership say omo ye involved enti na de we Akufo Addo implement am omo ko omo de court no ne back and forth ni nyina wie no na election is over. And to me, I'll be happy because the burden has been
burden so
good. But you see, let's say I said governance is continuum. The mere fact that Akufo Addo insane doesn't mean that John Mahama is insane. Fine. This is a government that is barely 6 months old. Yeah. There are structural former or a cost of baby government require for
and certain way you and for me
you can still press and engage the government with your concern, but to threaten and say that may cause strike when the procedure and the processes that are outlined won't follow. People have taken a very belligerent position. They say, we are done, and now say, and I've listened to a couple of interviews or granted, which you could see clearly intellectually she's very, very febrile. In some no can say or mature mind will not be making such comments, and either she's motivated by politics or whatever, I don't know. Obia or concern what he has a woman your quiet first but the way she's doing as if that is a government that has been in power for like 3 years and on engaging. This is a government that has been in power for barely 6 months. You cannot declare strike within 6 months when negotiations with the government hasn't gone on. Anti Sanya mana kosunu nyina no na ema amanfo say okay Sanya dia nema na mu bisa no yenko na yenko hwem. Yakobie krata na yakohwem ma. Kwabrane say me ye adwuma wa abrosan so first floor meji 2 Ghana 2 CD 50 pesos a day. Say a third floor 20 centimeters, measure 3 CDs a day. And the mayor Juma a fifth floor, not as a foreign measure 5 CDs a day. Yeah. Who on his right senses as a government will agree to this pack of nonsense? See it here. Okay.
First floor.
And with here Smith budget salary at channel because of the floor. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. And I sympathize with Nesmaka salary and very bad. So this energy they could have confronted government not in salary. Catch on the basic salary now and we deserve better. Yes, don't put up this nonsense. And yes, say make floor back one, make floor me. People will not even take it serious. But Akufo Addo government did not pay attention to those things because
election
but and the government now all try to reset through look at now they were saying anymore what what I say and I was expecting on nurses in Pennyford by catching up by say first now the we are nurse now the car if I want by a free man and that thing has been taken away. I was expecting nursing leadership to be fighting for those things. Dr. Sidia has been put on hold. These are sensible things bizarre nipa we are serious. What I say and again almost a funeral grant.
Aye, funeral grant.
Does it make sense? And the amount of money involved is over 600 million.
600 million Ghana.
Funeral grounds in what sense? Like, funeral we no abanya djuma no obi nya bi nchen obi o and I make say the risk obi ade ho but ya say abanya agree to some of these and I'm telling you so everything na teacher ni say almost munya risk ugina akasa from anopako say anwumre no. So you see a time will come we are going to open the floodgate obi abeba say funeral because what you funeral grant amobia you have to
pay for a teacher.
Adia ba kwa yes make sense in the woman the 13th month no you see
13th month
13th month you know there are companies omutia I was working for a company Christmas they will pay you double they do but you see this a policy you cannot introduce to a section of workers. What I say you because 13th month you know say you're widen to policy in here 13th month so you cannot exclusively say 13th month is going to create agitation. Doctors will come and ask for 13th month and I make us you see when you have that collective bargaining chip you know, as an entity now who make it demands be reasonable say ya some no can mami asem okay because any day. So be a nurse salary nya I'll be the first person to fight yes salary nya let us make sure say we pay nurses well because how can a degree nurse be working and be taking 4,000 I cried 4,000 times
rent to cry
exactly
rent to
so as a nursing leadership you know these are some of the things you engage government with. Allowances and so they are good but you see very often when you are advocating for allowances people don't take you serious but when you want salary discussion and I know there are roadmap and as for but you see when that particular thing is very aggressive with the government in your engagement because of the work you do the salary structure to a certain extent you know, can be improved on but some of these demands and you see that the whole thing has become a subject of public ridicule. I'm for a kind of science so now I'm for a funeral. So when you do that, you bring yourself, people will expose you. Or pick up some of the things and I will feel no not yet. And again, one thing people don't understand is GRNA, a nurses entity organization, a mother body association, and then I nurses for you. What people don't know, they say, your friend is a health sector now. Some person will engage your banya. The bargaining chip now, yadiama entities, you know, health sector now, or what time or the GRNA, the mother body. So on a legitimately, ultimately, buying her and bargaining certificate, no, no, buying your bargaining. But yeah, very, I never call people don't know. They say, sa entity way, a entity, made up of those who work in the private sector. Every single nurse, whether you work for government or not, you are part of this organization. So we are nurse you ma banyo we nurse ma banyo so there is a possibility say obi betimi aba be GRNA president abra onye aban adwuma ma aban no trust hospital onya ban adwuma oya private hospital but on the GRA way so sa nipa na di aban akwa negotiate on workers we dealing with government so aya ban workers it's not about private so nipa na odi animu akwa obokom kra na onya adwuma ma aban I don't know whether you get the picture.
Because I didn't remember young Klana at here for
yes.
I innocent yes, into the man the time to explain it better. It's the innocent Amiatia says here and say Ghana registered nurses why body no perpetual no and the dear as the president, you know. We are nurse or Ghana and Kwadia, you are part of this association, whether private or government, we are under this mother body. And no money am bargaining power. It's here be crying out, make us a perpetual mama by me, baby or I'm not interested. Be not perpetual crown or mama may private hospital be crying.
Yes.
Maybe call private hospital. Every crowd honor ye juma. But because I nurse, I under this body needs to know why rise your position.
Yes.
So acquire bagania, private hospital no cost strike. It is a by the cost striker and some.
Yes.
Because
I think exactly. I think that okay.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And say nipa near private nurse and some now are fighting for horn crown or a being cano. So they can do whatever that they want. That is the
benefit.
That is the bad aspect of it. So at the end of the day, no, people will not take. So for instance, I'm not saying that it could be possible. Say, all the head nurses, leaders is from private hospitals. And these private hospital workers, you know, and the people who are going to lead charge with government, engage government for those working in government sector. Does it make sense?
No.
You understand? And people will not even take it serious. You understand?
By expansion. Strike no crab private hospitals.
Yes. Exactly the point. I don't know maybe not private so because you see our capacity be able private hospital.
Yes. So you see how Kofa Sanema way in our but as who can be much wase.
Yeah.
Oh, what I say.
Exactly.
So for me, I think the roadmap na down and the labor commission the assembly court.
Yeah.
They are calling nurses to come back, but still, the woman they are sort of baby a Zoom call and so I think that the political undertones was our name and the money are very pathetic. For one eco hospital now, one day I don't even want to go there because some of these things are very weak. But the thing is that we are building a country. Every strike action be an premise on established rules of engagement. That is okay. And you see, Senka John Mahama Byway and last year our and our banner say only implement here, then you have a case. But we are talking about a government that is 6 months older. Yet here your deputy minister of health.
I can't don't 1 man.
What I say? So give you say even government nucleus now here forming a crowd abiding So you give the government time to settle. And what settle we no opa kofa we asem kwasa asem nyina gu paper so bra. Was settle we na wodi say the bargaining there your bargaining power na be kire o so pe furu na ope whatever na say otimi e bargaining na o weni awa weni that one there and let the government settle or settle down now wouldn't have that back and front now that is okay but budget has already been written. The amount of money involved is over 2 billion. I have the document.
Yes, I say 4 billion. No.
Yes, I have
4 billion every month.
I have the document with me. And the governance in yes, chacha bina here to acquire na kwata misika ba bi dia yo. What I said, you need to go through. So for me, in as much as I sympathize with nurses, the challenges in as for mu go through in as for no. Kwina leadership na faso no in this particular regard no. It's in bad faith. It's an ambush. And ya win him say, your friend is saying I didn't know your no. Psychiatry nurses and as for said they are not part of this strike action because the things there. And midwives, as I say at you, they have an association. Almost I listen to the president or say they are not in support. They want near man or muhiano. Namum kwanya or mafaswa more yano. It's not right. You understand? So for me, I think that strike they will be our home council. But a government that is 6 months old, that is my word, 6 months old. I will for me our negotiation, you know, was started with a government. Why is it a power? No, the government will need time to study the documents and see how the economic situation and conditions, you know, everything support those things. But if you don't do these things, now what to gum kakeo may cost strike because you think that you can force. No, it can't happen that. So that is why I am this whole thing. Exercise in bad faith, and I think that I'm so disappointed in the woman in charge. Maybe we know. I think that we need to pay particular attention to your emolument structure. You see, because of that happen on the political space. Because my classmates, me a doctor, me a surgery, a or hospital, but some insurance I 12,000 Ghana cedis. I've seen my classmates be at Ponkosu or did the party executive or China CEO. allowance oji in a month no so charge me as a medical doctor me way. Yes, those things are there, but you see Ghana becoming very overbearing. Oko baby esisi but ya bro so enti ama obia fi nani ehwe unso unu obia kasa omo compare allowances a leaders ninya oko parliament sika na mamamfo nsase na de dugu bag him na you see, so people know that there is money. So if I'm a nurse and I'm risking my life, I also deserve that pound of flesh. But if we are able to restructure the emolument structure in such a way, say baby obia no give you what you want.
Yeah.
Oko you can be a nurse here. Na nim mere obi oye mayor. Oko we no be a doctor US. Na nim mere obi oye your friend saying senator. Yeah. Because as a doctor working in a facility in America, the money I get, is almost the same as even far larger. There is this Ghanaian plastic surgeon or US. The guy is a billionaire. The guy is a billionaire because he's a doctor. You understand? So such a person, a senator, or so that is what we need to do, just to ensure that people in this service, young training and liberty, and also now poverty now. We are teaching near say what they
teacher need a bobo.
Now police for crowd there.
Police for the na kwa.
Onkwani amana single room na the fridge in the name.
Prison officer crowd there near bobo.
Na fire prison officer there omo dey tell me.
Omo can ho prison fire.
The difference between prison officer and a prisoner I war. They are all living in prison. So yeah, I think we need to look at in as much as the ekosunu nyina in a broader stakeholder way. Let us look at the bigger picture. Na ye hu how efa so a your salary structure ni ye sebe ya obia anibeso de oye. But I think say yes I be but be unnecessary for na there. Some of the demands na we making are absolute rubbish. It's nonsense and no government on his right senses will agree. Obi be catch am say oh na say abandada na jitum because we are going to an election the other ko we obeja to mama. But in this real sense here, you will say the state of affairs here, petrol and so forth. We can't do that, you understand? But we should try to know who's the car. Allowances in as for air cost of parliament. Yes, people will be peeved. So we need to do the politics where Sabaya because Obia who here, nurses who here, because nurse in you can survive. Kakra your more draw service, you see what is happening. And now Abasia won't feel it. Now we young Kawana Junior Dokwana will be another who say yes. So you see. Enti yele na ye make sure say baby obia wo bia no ye betua ne kai is the classmate me do mo wie legon about 70% of munya ko UK I didn't know obeko because salary ni nya wa ha okoha anya hwe ne ma beko yama no some are in America nursing training can be classmate about 50% they are in the UK now. Why? Because the structure system here is very terrible and recognize it and give nothing. No answer when the move flat is ana one way out and now or life no I don't know. You understand? Government must pay particular attention to workers. Police for more wins because it's bad.
Police need red no any green no difference about one. Yeah. But I agree can you question there be a red now me say Upesika catch say Mosca now where by force to say red abra me so many tuatua where me who say agree.
Yes,
so you see the frustration out there.
Yes, the frustration. So it's not a take it to poverty. So government must pay particular attention to some of these things, not making sure say you improve salary. Because I say okoye politics all of a sudden now order VAT other way or the classmate who oh you see kind of moody. Ebi akwa na nya ban sika o. So, and I'm the politics in a comparative way. Now, people are getting exposed to some of these things. First, who MP officer or a special person, and people have come to know. So, some of the people standing on the political side, some are even a wood and quine. That's all. Becca said, "We know what I say." So that veneration, respect, and on is gone. So it's about salary. If you are taking this, I should take this. You understand? So I think see a restructure, a monument structure, some of these things will not come up, and government should make sure say the risk allowance now must be universal across board. Now you fan salary no. Now you take away that power from people coming to meet government. We we no negotiate we now we know. Hey, now you be that by. What I say, and as a nurses and also bisa for BBA, they should ask for something important like this waiver on cars and then as a form. What I say, the near who here and the problem say, we and several other essentials. Now, could be a funeral ground, could be a science allowance. It's absolutely nonsense. Oh,
thanks for watching. like and share the video. You can also drop your comment. Please don't forget to subscribe. Click on the bell to turn on the notification.